Namaste, my friends, and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Victor, and today is going to be a new moon energy report for the month of October 2017. There is a wave that has now hit us that I believe is catalyzing a tremendous rising, a tremendous amount of self-empowerment, and it has very exciting implications. I'll go ahead now and break down my energy report into a few different themes that might help you, that you can hopefully relate with and benefit from. Number one is it's more important than ever, and yet maybe more difficult than ever, to stay in the flow. You might notice such a contrast between being in the flow. You know what I mean. When you're in the flow, when you're in alignment with your true authentic core self, life transpires harmoniously. You're revving at a higher vibration. Good ideas and resources come to you naturally, easily, and you reside in a state of joy and contentment. But because we're all learning to be and remain in the flow, it doesn't take much nowadays to knock us out of the flow. And there's it's like you take one step off your little path here and you tumble down 20 flights of stairs. It just takes one little instant to spiral you out of the flow and into negative thinking and cynicism and pessimism, and the world is ugly and gray and my life sucks and I don't even want to be here. But I found that oftentimes when we fall off our square, in a sense, from that perspective of having fallen, we fight and we struggle and we strain to figure our problems or our life situations out, but they can't really be figured out successfully in that state of being. So my advice is to whatever works for you, just focus on getting back in the vortex, back in the flow, and then it's kind of gravy again. Number two is I would say it's time to take seriously your intuition. Sometimes life will stack up circumstances and problems that only grow in their magnitude, driving you nuts in the process, and yet in the back of your mind you have some kind of idea that you're just not carrying out. And it's tough because you can be easily overwhelmed by this stacking up effect. You feel like, I don't have the time or the energy, I'm out of the zone, I'm out of the vortex. I realize this is sort of there in a faint way, this idea, but I don't have my wits about me to even begin to contemplate that or carry it out, let alone. But that is the solution to your problems. It's saying it's time to do that. This is going to solve all of these issues for you. And I know it's kind of a difficult climate to implement, being in and out of the flow so frequently, but that's what you got to do. Number three is it might be wise to focus on your health, your fitness, your physical vehicle, and your well-being in a nutshell. Sometimes the awakening can bring forth a lot of things to the surface which manifest themselves in our reality, causing a lot of our attention to be focused there. And it's not always easy to be confronted with our shadow side as it spills out into our physical reality experience. And we can just not be in an optimal state of being to be prepared to integrate and to deal with all of this. But one of the things we do have control over is how we treat our body. I know a lot of times for me when I'm stressed out, I tend to eat more in a more unhealthy way and exhibit more addictive and compulsive and just escapism types of behaviors. But that makes me even less likely to resolve all the things going on in my life. So it's kind of an interesting, like a paradox. On one hand, during these times, I find it more challenging than ever to be healthy, and yet I've maybe put more energy than ever at those times to do so, to eat healthy, to just keep my vibration high. Our vibration oscillates. If you just eat like 17 Twinkies and have watched the news for the last 2 hours, your vibration is going, your vibration is going to slow down, and your experience of life is going to reflect that. It's going to be a lower vibrational type of earthly, painful, heavy experience. But if you can just feed yourself healthy foods and keep your mind clean and pure, you will rev higher, and then a lot of the issues are going to become less of a problem, because you'll have the ability to tap into your higher resources, and you can almost joyfully deal with them. So I would say, if you find yourself kind of falling off the wagon with your diet, it's time where it might be challenging to, but I believe you'll succeed if you try. And it's important, in my opinion, to really treat your temple with love and respect, and you'll benefit from it. Number 4 is what I will call the slingshot effect. Sometimes the awakening will overwhelm you and sort of pull you down, pull you back like a slingshot. And while you're being pulled back, oh, it's not pleasant. It's tough. It's just, you're aware of so many things in your life that you want to change, but you feel so disharmonic, so out of the flow. You're eating unhealthy. You're experiencing this downward spiral. You're being pulled back. It's like, oh my goodness, oh my goodness, oh my goodness. You feel stuck. Not only do you feel stuck in a circumstance sort of way, but you feel stuck like you realize you're so out of whack that there's no way you could even possibly get yourself together to fix anything. But you're only stuck so long. You can only put up with so much. You can only tolerate such an amount of stuckness before you finally let go, and that slingshot just explodes forward to whatever degree you allowed yourself to pull back. So just remember, if you're feeling stuck, you're not going to be stuck forever. And the degree in which you're stuck will be that degree that you propel yourself forward in an amazing and almost ecstatic way when you finally let go. And you all will. We all do. These are just cycles. Number 5, I find that the best quality to focus on during challenging ascension times is being tough. Not having the expectation. When I'm pulled back in that rubber band, I don't expect to feel blissful or have like an ecstatic array of synchronicity that lifts me up and leaves me in wonder and awe. I don't have that expectation. I try to just be tough and to weather the storm, because every storm comes to an end. And in being tough and cultivating strength and transmuting challenges into wisdom and power, I build myself up. So when that slingshot finally lets go and I'm exploding forward, I'm a new person. I'm a stronger, wiser, more put together person than ever before. There's I'm trying to think of where it was. This one book I read by this ex-Navy SEAL named Wilco. A lot of like the situations that he was in, and his soldiers would come up to him and say, hey, what do we do? What do we do? He'd just say, be stronger, be stronger, be stronger, be tougher. If you're feeling you're stuck and you're out of the flow and your life sucks, be stronger. You can. You can, just like sometimes I teach my clients how to do this certain breathing technique. I explain to them that their lungs they're flexible, like a balloon kind of. So I'll have them breathe really, really, really deeply. And then I'll say, breathe a little more, expand a little more. And just by doing so, you're able to stretch your lungs and take another sip of air or prana. You can do the same thing with your toughness. Just choose to be stronger. It will be a very valuable quality to cultivate that will help you through this unique and dynamic and fluctuating earth experience. Number 6 is to master your focus. You're probably already starting to realize that your physical experience is heavily influenced by where your attention goes and flows and focuses on. It's so challenging because I know for me, I just have so many self-destructive mental habits of when I'm presented with some sort of obstacle in life. I have all of these patterns that just click on that cause me to fester and dwell and ruminate and complain. But all that does is make that picture that I don't want to look at become more ugly and more of a problem than it really is. I grow the problem with those habits. And I'm far from perfect from breaking them, but I'm very mindful of them, I'm conscious of them, and I do my absolute best to not allow myself to stew in a cycle of negative thinking, because I can now see very obviously just how much it will distort that picture even further. So I would say any technique you resonate with, any certain I don't know, tool or trick that works for you, that you are fond of and believe in, incorporate it into your life. One of the things I've been doing, it's something a lot of athletes do and like actresses and actors do. It's called mental rehearsal, just visualization. In the morning, I try to visualize myself doing what I intend to do. I try to create new patterns and build up a momentum of me dealing with life and benefit and just maximizing my life experience in a conscious way, rather than allowing my unconsciousness to kind of take me over. It can feel like an uphill battle, but I have found that there's a threshold. Once you successfully ingrain a new mental habit and pattern, which does take time, it immediately, once it gets to that threshold, those old patterns just fall away and die away, and therefore have no power over you. But it does take, for me anyway, it takes quite a bit of discipline. But regardless, we're moving into fourth density. Most of you know what that is. It means we're going to start manifesting our physical reality from our state of being much faster. So this is something we have to learn, and we're already discovering that you're already probably finding this faster manifestation. Well, we can use that to our co-creative benefit if we can master the art of honing our focus in the direction that we want it to go. Number 7, I know some of this was sort of like, talking about maybe the challenges going down, but as I mentioned with that rubber band, the degree in which we're being challenged and provoked by the ascension of the moon energies, that's how much we're expanding our consciousness. You might, parallel to all of this, be finding that you're reaching new levels of expansion, having experiences with your consciousness that you might have not had yet before. I have personally as well. Just yesterday I was meditating, or 1 or 2 days ago, and previous to meditating, I was reading this book, and a lot of books written by enlightened teachers, they're always trying to trick you into the now. And one of the things in the book said something like, who's watching? Who's witnessing? Who's the one witnessing? That along those lines. So I was meditating, and I decided with my awareness to look at myself. I tried to find my point of awareness. And as I did, I kind of, in my mind, in my imagination, turned around and saw myself, my ego. I saw my battered ego, restless little old Victor self. I could see it, but I could see it. I could see my ego self from the place of pure awareness, and it made me realize, wow, there really are two of us. That's just this illusion construct, and this is me. It was just a very real sort of enlightening type of experience that it just seemed natural and easy for me to have in my mind. I'm not suggesting you're going to have that happen, but you might find that your consciousness is, you just have different abilities now with your consciousness due to all of this transformation going on. That sometimes is awesome, sometimes is challenging, but regardless, you're expanding all the while. So try to keep that to be the focus. It's a very positive thing going down right now. I wish you all the best. Have an amazing day. Namaste.